them in the dairy products like milk, yogurt, cheese, cream, and meat products, and every food containing contaminated grains, seeds, or fruits. There are a lot of historical background around Great Britain, India, China, Kenya, Thailand. We have a lot of uh, um, causes of death related with contaminated products. So Aspergillus enters our food. They enter by ventilation pores in young seeds, by invasions, or through cracks caused by drought or insect-related holes. Aspergillus uh, can't be digested and eliminated by the healthy gut microbiome. So Aspergillus infectious is virtually non-existent, except in immunocompromised individuals. But aflatoxins under stressful condition could be produced by the Aspergillus during competition with another microorganism under drought conditions to avoid bee eating, and sometimes because they respond to the phytohormones of the plant they are inviting. As Dr. Ruth said, they are tasteless, odorless, and insoluble in water. So it's difficult to find them. And they have a metabolism in our body. The first phase is oxidation that form epoxides, and the epoxide will be eliminated by conjugation with the glutathione transferase. So if we have no glutathione, we can be more exposed to epoxide. After epoxide formation, we can reduce also with some another enzyme, and we have to take this K note. In addition to the liver, also macrophago and esophageal mucus can produce epoxides. But when our elimination pathway is overloaded, the aflatoxin is going to adduct to DNA and making some mutation in P53 and mutation in KRAS, and those make us some damage. We have zones with that apurinic zones, adduct zones, and they have consequences. For example, the consequences of P53 mutation are we can't arrest the size cycle, we can repair DNA, and we cannot promote apoptosis. The consequences of the KRAS mutation are to promote the cell cycle in various points. So if we can stop the cell cycle and we can't make the cells go to apoptosis, we are going to have some problems. Aflatoxins exposure, it depends on the concentration. We can have acute effects like vomiting, diarrhea, hemorrhage, necrosis, or we can have chronic effects. Under the microscope, we can detect the cells who are under aflatoxin damage. But aflatoxin is also a big problem for the health because we can detect it, as Dr. David said, in food, even in tissues, and we have a risk dose. When we are chronic exposure as little as 1 nanogram per kilogram, we have an increase in the lifetime risk of liver cancer. So although hepatocellular carcinoma is extremely rare in childhood, it's like the top of the iceberg. So worldwide cases of hepatocellular carcinoma due to aflatoxin is maybe between 125,000 people. As you can see, the pediatric fraction is small. We must take in account that aflatoxin with hepatitis B or C have an synergistic effect that explode the risk of the cancer. When we have synergy, we must take into account that hepatitis B virus can also alter another enzymes that promote cancer. When does the damage start? The damage starts before we born. The prenatal exposure can causes a lot of fetal deaths or miscarriage. So after that, we can have problems like stunting, like Dr. David already said to us, because we have a lot of problems. And also, we have to take into account that aflatoxin really appeared of death certificates, but this is where the problem become massive, because they can add a lot of people dying, a lot of children dying for this. The synergy with infectious disease, aflatoxins and infectious disease can elevate 4.8 times the risk of dying. So it's estimated that aflatoxins with immune fragility in pediatric children can make 30,000 or 50,000 people dying for this synergy. So that means that by the time the first 500 cases of hepatocellular carcinoma were diagnosed, we have already 2 million people dying for aflatoxin. That's the point, that's the top of the iceberg. But it's not only hepatocellular carcinoma. Lung cancer also, remember, alveolar macrophages can produce epoxide. Also, if we have contact in our oral cavity, we have cancer also with aflatoxins in association with human papilloma virus. And we also can be, we can have problem with the esophagus, because it's also 20% of the cancer in esophagus is also associated with it. So aflatoxin's environment and healthy and public health are together. We can conclude that aflatoxin is a public health disaster. They are potent immunosuppressants. We must protect our community. And there are a lot of things we have to take in account to avoid, like hepatitis B virus and also human papilloma virus, to avoid the carcinogenesis. How to protect ourselves? Well, the first step is protecting our microbiome. For example, to have a healthy diet, fruits and vegetables are, we have to take a lot. Avoid ultra-processed food and also the misuse of antibiotics. We must try to have a lactobacillus in our body. Also, another Bacillus subtilis and Enterococcus faecium can protect us. Our protective diet, like Brussels sprouts, broccoli, fruit, coffee, and some kind of Chinese herbal medicine can also help us. We must take and advise our government to have a general anti-aflatoxins measures, like cleaning agricultural equipment, reducing the crop moisture, use antifungals, and also is very important in the environment to have a good control of water stress management. We have also the option to have biological control. We must take in account also pest control, and we must use resistant varieties of our seeds to avoid the contamination with aflatoxins. You must take in account when you have a children who has stunning and you detected you have aflatoxins issues, you must change the environment, but the damage is done. If the children doesn't go up in the next 2 years, it's going to be permanently damaged. So this is my intervention. I'm glad to have any question to the end. And thank you very much for your attention. Gracias por su atención. Merci.
Thank you, Dr. Esteban. And after that, I want to introduce to Dr. Fatim Tal. Dr. Fatim is a Senegalese pediatric allergy. Oh, this. Oh my God. Sorry. Allergies at Center Hospital National Defend Albert Roger. She trained in Dakar, Toulouse, and Boston and has worked in the pneumology department since 2016, heading the medical information department since 2018. She's a treasurer and a scientific committee member of the Senegalese Society of Pediatrics and contributes to medical education, hospital data management, and national health planning, including Senegal's health map. Welcome, Dr. Fatim Tall. She is a moderator about answer and a question. And remember, if you have question, you can do it through the chat of the Zoom. The table is yours, okay. Dr. Tall.
Thank you, Marcela. Thank you, Dr. Ruth, Dr. David, and Dr. Esteban for your excellent presentation. We have one question. Two questions. One question is, excuse me. Do aflatoxin is destroyed by hurt? One question. Two questions.
Fatim, il faut partager ton écran, tes slides. Ils ne sont pas là. Il faut partager ton écran.
Je ne peux pas partager mon écran. Ce pas des questions que j'ai sur l'écran. C'est des questions qui sont écrites, que j'essaie de lire.
Il y a deux questions à the bottom.
Deux questions, two questions. Professeur Adat?
Yes, it's good. Go ahead. You have to answer.
Professeur Adat?
Okay. Oui.
Pouvez-vous traduire les deux questions? Est-ce que les aflatoxines sont détruites par la chaleur et la cuisson? Première question.
Non, et la première question est, est-ce que les thés herbaux, médecine, est-ce que vous pouvez donner quelques lumières là-dessus? C'est-à-dire que les thés herbaux médicaux qu'on prescrit, est-ce que vous pouvez donner des more light, est-ce que vous pouvez donner des explications là-dessus? This is the first question. Chinese herbal medicine, can you throw some more light?
Okay. Yo no soy experto de term. Yo no soy experto en medicina china. I'm not expert in Chinese medicine. But there are a lot of products called Oldelandia. Oldelandia have flavonoids, polyphenols, iridoids, phenols, and coumarins that can avoid the aflatoxins to bind the DNA, and also is an an immunomodulation effect. So that's the kind of Olendalandia can protect us from aflatoxins. But it's not eating Olendalandia the way we are going to stop the damage. So the damage must be stopped by avoid the aflatoxin intake.
Okay. This question has been answered. The second question, Fatim, c'est de Christine Magendie. Elle dit merci beaucoup pour cette excellente présentation. Elle n'était pas au courant de l'importance de ce problème. Bon. La troisième question vient de Georges Ichoho. Il dit que puisque les aflatoxines, l'exposition aux aflatoxines commence at the level of the crop production, storage and food processing, commence à ce niveau-là de la préparation de la nourriture, comment on peut conduire des études qui puissent associer les food science, les interventions scientifiques sur ces procédures avec le devenir de nos enfants. Avec le devenir de nos enfants.
Peut-être en français?
Dr. David Gitanga est en train de répondre, mais tu peux répondre en français, moi je traduirai. You can answer in French, I will do the translation.
You want me to answer George Shoho's question?
You can answer the George Shoho question.
Yes. As I mentioned in my slide, the whole issue of aflatoxin matters is heavily domiciled in agriculture and vets. In fact, vets have been quite leading in this area with people in agriculture. Although human beings are affected, we seem to have been we seem to have relegated ourselves to country cousins where we are not bothered with it. We think it's somebody else's issues. But the matter of aflatoxin goes across agriculture, trade, government agencies that are regulators in terms of checking what grains are there, laboratory scientists that are able to help develop these tests and also bring them closer to the areas, clinical areas, and in fact, develop point of care, ways of testing. Although we can test AFB-M1, it's still a fairly complex test and an expensive test. So it's really everyone joining together at the various points and so forth to take care of the problem. We said that you may not have aflatoxin in your area, but you're going to get spices or grains that are developed elsewhere, or meat that has come from a place where the cattle had been fed on corn that has aflatoxin. So you can't run away from it, but you really do need the regulator and everybody on board. But for us, I think in this forum, is really to bring this to the fore. And that's probably why I'm very grateful that this topic has been given prominence by the current IPA leadership.
The question to you, David, does food processing eliminate aflatoxin or it's resistant?
No. We said even temperatures of 260 Celsius will not destroy it. So the major intervention is before this has happened. After we've ingested the aflatoxin, what we're doing is just mitigating, right? We're mitigating the effects and so on. But the biggest impact is really pre-harvest and in the field, and the way you store, the way you make sure that hepatitis B is given and the other hepatitis are taken care of. By the time you're getting it into the system, you are in significant amount of trouble.
So
we are down.
So the treatment starts from the beginning, from production,
Yes.
from the field, from
Yes.
that is, and this is not correctly done, appropriately done.
It is not, because we do not highlight the problem enough. And I guess this is why, if you remember Ruth's, one of the slides, we just see the tip of the iceberg. The issues are bigger. And if we wait for cancer, 20 years, 16 years, you've seen 16-year-olds with liver cancer in this country. But the effects on immunity happens a lot earlier. If you look at infectious disease that are vaccine preventable, they're more severe in this part of the world in areas that have high incidence of mycotoxins compared to the same diseases elsewhere. So the problem is big, but the solutions is many more people than just the people who work downstream, and those are the medical workers like ourselves.
Oh, thank you. Marcella, you have the floor now to close because we are 10 minutes ahead, far from the time. Marcella? Marcella?
It's okay. I'll go ahead if Marcella is not there.
Yes. Go ahead.
I want to thank everyone. This has been absolutely fascinating for me because it shows that this is a multifaceted problem and actually a problem that IPA is in a unique position to bring to public attention. We are the pediatricians that see those children with immune suppression. We are the pediatricians that hear the stories about vomiting and hepatitis. We are the pediatricians who know that liver cancer, for example, has increased 100% in the last 30 years. And so we are the voices that can raise attention about this issue and help the World Health Organization and other important bodies to take steps towards its prevention. So we want to thank the leadership of IPA for their vision in highlighting important environmental problems and allowing this group to take action and to move them forward on the agenda. Those of you who are in medical school, in the medical curriculum, and if not, perhaps this is something that each of us can do, is to say when we're teaching about these issues, mention it so that the next generation will not be in the dark. And so we thank you, and we'd like to close this seminar. Marcella, did you want to say how people can give an evaluation of this seminar?
Yes. Sorry, but a technical problem, but I'm here. And I have another question for Dr. Ruth. The people ask that, are aflatoxins killed by heating and cooking?
This is something that we know they are not killed. And this is why it's so important to stop them, because cooking them does nothing to stop them. The cooking is insufficient to kill the aflatoxin metabolites.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. And after that, I'm going to show the feedback form. I really to say thank you for all the speakers today and Dr. Haddad for sharing with us in this scenario. And I'm going to share. I don't know if another question. Okay. Could you see the feedback form? Okay.
Yes, we can see it. Sí podemos verla, Marcela.
Gracias. Okay. Okay. You can scan this QR to please fill this feedback form. And I really appreciate and thank you for all of you, our speakers, and the attending for this webinar. I don't know, where is Dr. Fatim?
Thank you to all the speakers, moderator, and Professor Haddad for the wonderful session. We request all the participants to fill the feedback form to obtain the participation certificate. You can scan the QR code on the screen, and also while you leave the webinar, there will be a tick box to give feedback. You can also click on that to give feedback. Thank you so much.
Thank you all.
Merci
Thank you
beaucoup.
all.
Thank you. Thank you
you
so
all.
much for the webinar.
And thank you
Thank
all.
you.
And I hope, Ruth, that you will be able to provide us another exciting webinar very soon.
We will do it, boss. We will do it. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a nice
you.
evening, day,
Thank
all
you.
of you.
Have a good
And
day.
bye-bye, everyone.
Bye. Bye.
Good day. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.